Omega have just kicked off 2026 with an absolute banging watch. These are the brand new Omega Speedmaster Reverse Pandas. But there's one detail in particular on these watches that I just don't understand. Welcome back to the Chisholm Hunter channel. My name is Harrison, as always, and today we're taking a dive into the brand new Omega Speedmaster Reverse Pandas, both models. So you have one Moonshine Gold model and then you have a stainless steel. We're going to be comparing it to the original Sapphire Sandwich Speedmaster, and then we're going to be covering a detail that I noticed that I don't understand. So let's begin with the Moonshine Gold version. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, on first seeing the Moonshine Gold version, I almost had a genuine panic attack, because I thought the steel version was white gold. So I thought, wow, I'll never be able to afford these. But then I realized it was steel, and then I was happy. So this model comes in at 42 millimeters in diameter, 47.46 millimeters lug to lug. Between those lugs, you have about 20 millimeters, and the thickness comes in at 13.63 millimeters. The case and the bracelet, of course, is all Moonshine Gold, which is just a phenomenal metal. Also, for those of you wondering what Moonshine Gold is, it's essentially a unique alloy patented by Omega. It's known for its kind of paler hue than traditional gold, and it also has enhanced durability and resistance to fading over time. And the way that this is kind of achieved is they add this kind of cocktail of different metals. So they add silver, they add copper, and they also add palladium. The sapphire crystal here is domed, and it does have anti-reflective coating on the inside, not on the outside, so it's not double-sided, a bit like the Seamaster. It has 50 meters of water resistance, and the gold version specifically, remember there's going to be a big difference here in terms of weight, comes in at 224 grams on a bracelet. The clasp on the bracelet here is a fold-over clasp with the comfort extensions and settings. The movement on both of these new models is the caliber 3861, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys will know this already because it is already used in the Speedmaster that's currently circulating, the Sapphire Sandwich. It's a manual wound movement with a coaxial escapement. It's certified by Master Chronometer, approved by Metas, and it's resistant to magnetic fields reaching 15,000 Gauss. It also has a power reserve, a little bit like the classic Sapphire Sandwich again, of 50 hours. And then we get to the stainless steel version, and oh my god, this thing is sexy. Now, there's a couple of tiny differences between it and the gold version, the Moonshine Gold version. So let's just cover the changes or the differences, because I don't want to just repeat stuff to you. So the first tiny detail that I saw that was different was the lug to lug. The lug to lug comes in at 47.5 millimeters on this model, whereas on the other model, it comes in at 47.46. The thickness of these models is also slightly different. So on the stainless steel version, you've got a thickness of 13.54, whereas on the Moonshine Gold, you've got a thickness of 13.63. These are all really minute things, right? And from listening to this video, you might think, Harrison, you are an OCD weirdo. And you might be right. But when it comes to luxury, these tiny little details, they really matter. They really do. The weight is another unbelievable change here, and this is really when you see how heavy gold is, especially Moonshine Gold. So the weight of the stainless steel version comes in at 138 grams, whereas as we just covered, the Moonshine Gold version comes in at 224 grams. That is a humongous difference. It may not seem like much, but when it's actually on the wrist and you're carrying that weight around for the whole day, I promise you that is huge. Now, apart from that, you've got more or less the same watch, but just in stainless steel. And the dial here is really the standout feature. I mean, the dial is gorgeous. That reverse Panda dial is one of the best classic clean color combinations that you can think of. I mean, black and white is the highest contrasting colors you can get. So I think that the way that they've executed this is just incredible. Now, something that you might not have noticed that I only really realized after closer inspection of this watch was the way that the dial reflected in the light. And there's actually a reason why it does that. So when you look at the dial, you can actually see that it has a black varnished and lacquered double plate step dial. And that is amplified by the fact that it actually has a white varnished and lacquered sub dial set within it. So you've got this really nice combination of kind of a shiny lacquered dial from both the white and also from the black. And I think what's happened here, this is my kind of conspiracy brain going about Omega, but I think what's happened here is they've taken their learnings from the Black Aquaterra or the Black Quatera or Black Pearl or whatever you want to call it, And they've essentially said, that worked, everyone loved it, let's do it, but in the Speedmaster. And that is pretty awesome. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but what I really hope Amiga do next is look at the Seamaster. I think that is a line that they've not had that many updates to in comparison to the Gen 4 Planet Ocean or the Speedmaster. I think that is a line that they could do so much to. And just like they've upgraded and amplified this, they could upgrade and amplify the Seamaster. I really want to see the Seamaster in 40mm without the helium escape valve. Even putting a white lacquer dial on it, just like they have for these subdials, take the learnings from this model and put it into the king that is the Seamaster. And now we get to the odd detail that I don't quite understand. I mean, I have a rough idea of why I think it is, but honestly, I would love your help on this because I can't figure it out. So on the stainless steel new model, as we just covered, we have a thickness of 13.54, whereas if we go to the classic Sapphire Sandwich, we have a thickness of 13.18. Now, as I said before, you might be thinking, Harrison, you're OCD, you're weird. And yeah, you'd be partially right. But again, when it comes to luxury, these tiny little details, they make a huge difference. Now, why I think this has happened, because they've got the same movement, right? But why I think this has happened is because of the stepped dial. You can see on the reverse Panda dial, the sub-dials are slightly lower than the actual face of the watch. And I do think that that is partially why you've got a tiny little bit more thickness. Now, it's an interesting debate, and I'd like to hear your kind of take on this. Would you choose a thicker watch for more dial depth, or would you rather a flatter dial for a slimmer watch? I think the dial of the watch is what you see most, so I'd probably say that I'd sacrifice the thickness for dial detail. But it is an interesting thing to think about. What would you rather? And now we get to the price. Yes, I know that the dreaded price. The thing that kind of brings most watch guys, including myself, back down to reality. So the Moonshine Gold version, we'll start at the most expensive point. The Moonshine Gold version comes in at £41,300. Whereas the stainless steel version comes in at £8,700. But what's interesting about this is when you compare that model to the original Sapphire Sandwich, because the original Sapphire Sandwich comes in at £7,500. So there is around £1,000 of difference between those two models. So what would you go for? Would you go for the original Sapphire Sandwich or the new reverse Panda? I tell you what, if there's one way to kick off a year with a watch, this has to be it. It's what we've been after for such a long time, and it's finally here. And I'm actually so happy to see this because it's just awesome. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, hit that subscribe button, follow our Instagram at Chisholm Hunter Watches, or my Instagram at HB Lifelights, or the podcast, the Into the Mind podcast. And I'll see you guys real soon.